So, what is up, guys? It's Seiishizo here. I haven't made a video in quite a while. Today I'm gonna talk about. I'm actually planning to make more videos in the future, and I'm starting out probably just to talk about like things that are interesting for people to progress. So that's like rune optimizing, um, how to farm, what to farm, which runes to keep, stuff like that. I'm planning to talk about these. Like there's like plenty of videos about guild wars and arena and stuff like that, but I don't think there's that many videos about how to progress in the game. So I'm trying to focusing on that. And for this video, yeah, just general concepts of progressing. Um, one of those is like all the time you get, try to farm something. Try to farm something. So I'm making this video, I'm farming something. This is my little note block. Gonna write some stuff down. So first I want to talk about is like what are my concept of like early, mid, and end game. Just to keep like if I'm talking about that, you know what I'm talking about. So I think early game is pre Giants B10. Simple as that. It's like you cannot beat Giants B10 yet. You're trying some scenarios. Maybe you're doing some of the other Giants. I'm gonna talk a bit about that. Then you have early game is like you can beat Giants B10. You can beat Dragons B10. Yeah, I include that in early game. You probably can beat TOA normal 100. You're probably around like fighter rank, fighter 1, fighter 2. I think fighter 2, depending on the week. The mid game is you're starting to get Necro B10, maybe TOA hard 100, getting into like C2, C3. And what I would say end game is you probably also hear like arena. Let's click some of those. What the god? Trash. Doesn't matter. So I think endgame is like I think arena here, and then maybe some R4. Endgame R5. Only focused on arena. C3 at least. G1, G2 plus, Guardian plus. Let's say it like that. And also GW G3 at least. I think even during mid game you can probably get G1 Guild Wars. So I think that's my concept of like early game, mid game, and end game. The reason yeah, people will probably not agree with me on that. This is like really a vague concept for everyone was saying like what's early, what's mid. I think this is like early. Like early, you're probably gonna stay here for quite a while. You're gonna farm like your scenarios. You're gonna farm maybe some others than Giants B10 or like Giants B6, B7 or something like that. And then you're progressing. You can farm them. I think this is where most people get stuck. So I'm gonna talk a little bit at this one, quite some about the early game, also some about mid game, and end game is not that interesting. I don't think that many end game players will actually watch how to progress because they know they got end game. So I'm gonna start out with early game. So what you're doing. This is not like clear all your scenarios and stuff. This is the point where you're like, okay, I got some monsters like 2, 3, 6 stars, stars, let's say it like that. But you cannot actually kill giants B10. So what are you doing? Maybe you got even more. Maybe more. So maybe you're farming like B6, B7, but you're not getting the good runes. The thing is, what I really recommend is like focus on B10. Don't focus on B9. Don't focus on B8. Don't focus on B7. Preferably don't even run them. You can get all your runes you need for like the selective monsters, like a Bella, Pharaoh. Use this guy. So important to fuse him. Bella, Pharaoh, Bernard, Megan slash Shannon, like this, I think. And then one more. Maybe you'll get some force there that works. There's like plenty of guides to how to GB10. I'm not gonna focus like fully on how to GB10, but get these monsters. Focus on GB10. Don't focus like getting water monsters for GB9. Don't focus on, I don't even know what's 8 is, maybe like dark or something. I don't know. It's like just get these wind units that will help you for GB10. The thing is like um, I'm not really sure about these numbers, so I could be wrong, but in concept, it's correct. So the chance of like getting a 6-star rune in GB10, let's say, I think it's about 15% or something. A 6-star rune in GB9 is, I think, about 4%. I could be wrong. I should have checked these numbers, but the concept is like it's at least 3 times, at least maybe even 4 or 5. So the chance of you getting a rune that you would keep like for the rest of your the time that you're playing is like 4 to 3, let's say 3 to 5 times bigger in GB10 than in GB9. Also, since the one of the newer patches, you cannot get any more 4-star runes from GB10. So that's like you don't even want to work with 4-star runes by the time you get early game. Early game, you're gonna toss all the 4-star runes out. Their shit, you're gonna work with 5 stars and 6 stars. That's all you want. So the key thing is, if you get a lot of cool monsters, you get, for example, you get like Laika, Zyros, Tiana, whatever. Don't make them 6 star like this. Do not make these monsters 6-star. Here's why they're cool. You can PvP with them, but you're gonna get stuck. Simply because they cannot farm the runes they need to have to be like really good. You're gonna do some arena, you're gonna do some guild battles, you're gonna progress some here and there, you're gonna get some rooms, but you're probably farming B6 or B7, so you're never gonna get the real shit. So for like an early game player, he can farm giants the same way I farm giants. I farm it faster, but still like every time he clears it or I clear it, he has exactly the same chance of getting like any good rune as I have, simply because he's farming GB10. And that's really a thing that you're gonna have to focus on. Getting these GB10 teams is like super important. It's like literally the first thing you should do. And I created an alt. I had knowledge about the game. I could clear GB10 in a month. If you just focus it, you play quite a lot. You don't use any Visa card, MasterCard, whatever. You don't have to pay for that stuff. You just focus on the correct monsters. I was lucky to get Awusa, which helped me out quite a lot. But still, even if you don't get any monsters that are helping you, you can still create a GB10 team in like a month or 2, 3, easy. Like on my main account, new player, I think I could farm GB10 in like 2 months and dragons in like the month later because I was really focused on. I wanted will runes when I started the game. So yeah, that's my tip for like people that are hanging around the early game and they're not getting out of that. Drop everything you're doing, like some everything you are doing. Get GB10 team. Get GBDB10 team. Farm it for a month. Do a great rune removal, and just go out of there. That's how you pass the early game. Easy as that. So We talked about that. Then we're talking about the early game. This is where people really get stuck. Like you can farm giants B10, you can farm dragons B10, you can do TOA normal, but you're not really progressing all that much. Like people are doing, um, for some reason, you're staying on the same level. And this is where you really need to focus on making certain monsters. Let's say you want to progress in arena. It's like, how do you progress in arena? Get will runes. It's as simple as that. Get will runes, and you will at least like climb one more star. It's like going from C2 to C3, going from C1 to C2, easy. If you have those will runes. Of course, you have farmed probably like a couple of months giants, couple of months dragons. You have like great stats on them. Doesn't matter. Create a necro team. Get these like 4 or 5 special. Like I think you need like 3 or 4 like monsters that are just purely 6-star for necro, and it's worth it. It's like these multi-hitters. Like there's so many. You're probably gonna get. It's not gonna be a free-to-play team most of the time because you had some options you're playing for a while. You had some like Shi Hua or Hua or Liches or normal team would look like Colleen, MVP for sure, Bella, maybe like Fire Panda, not sure what his name is, and then you add like 2 more DPSs. Could even be the Fire Elven Ranger and let's say Shihua. This team easy can clear it. Can clear it even like if you have like 2 or 3 of them on some shitty runes, maybe 5-star even, depending. You can clear it. It's not that hard. Go for this. Stop farming. Like if you've done like a couple of months giants, couple of months dragons, stop doing it. Create a necro team. Get those will runes. Get those nemesis runes. Farm some of the good shit, and you're gonna progress. Like for sure, guild battles like immensely. It's so nice to have like you can give them the first turn. You got all will runes, you got it set out, they get the first turn, and after that you just wipe them easy. Will runes are so powerful. Same for Nemesis. You got all these Lucian comps and stuff out there, especially around like C2, C3. All these Lucian comps. Even if you take a Beladion, you throw them on like will runes, double Nemesis, it's gonna counter like everyone around your level. If you come up with strategies like that around like C2, C3, you're gonna beat that shit. You're really gonna beat that shit, and you don't even need a 5-star. You can do it on even a Beladion. It works. So also, what I see people from early game start running raid. Raid like every day. Try to raid. Try to get some guildies saying like, okay, all of us, we don't have the real grindstones and stuff. Raid 3 is perfectly fine for grindstones. You're gonna say like, I want to raid 4, raid 5 and stuff like that, but I can't beat it. You know why? Because you don't have grindstones. R3 is perfectly fine. If you run it fast, that's fine. Just do it. There's so many places to improve so easily. The thing is like if you have, for example, Vio slot 2, maybe let's say slot 4, HP percent 6-star, and it has like 10 speed. The chance of you getting like the same rune with 12 speed, how big are the chances in that? Probably like somewhere like this, maybe. The chances of you getting a Vio grindstone is still low, but it's probably gonna be something like this, or maybe something like this. So if you compare this to this, that's where you take like that's where you make the advantages. That's where you take like you don't have to save all your grindstone for like I'm gonna get like really good runes later. No, just like you're doing R3, you're not getting the best grindstones. You can easily just use them on the stuff you have right now to progress right now. You will see like results in the future. Simple thing is like if you can get like C1 every week, or you can get C2 every week, that's like I actually have to check. I think it's 50 difference. Do I want to keep this? No. Let me check. Weekly rank. Yeah, it's like getting, for example, going from fighter into conqueror. That's 50 crystals. So if you say like 50 crystals, one refill, almost two refills, it's not a big deal. Maybe. But look at it like this. You can get 50 crystals, and let's say a friend of yours um, is also playing, and he can get, for example, Conquer 1 like 1 month earlier than you. Earlier, like this, yep. That's like 1 month, that's 4 weeks, that's 200 crystals. 4 weeks, 200 crystals. And that's just like an increase of one. Take it throughout like a year or something like that. It's like it's saying like, yeah, playing a year is a long time. That's true. But you're trying to progress, get the most out of it. And if you're not trying to progress, I think this video is not for you. But it's like really focusing on progression. It's like when I started, I was always like focused on progression, getting the highest rank every Saturday or every Sunday in arena, trying to focus like getting TOA hard or TOA normal finished as fast as I could. So I could like get all the extra crystals, get the extra scrolls, which were shitty mostly, but get all the extra scrolls, um, and get the extra Devmon, really important. And this is also the part where you should start like in early game, besides getting all these. So early game, what to focus on: Necro, B10 for sure, Raid 3. Just spam the shit out of it. Do it like all the time. For example, like, I'm far end game, but if you see these runes, everything is orange. That's what you want to see. I hardly use this monster, so it's not really that orange. Let's check out a monster I use often. Where's my Teomars at? It's like orange, fully orange. Orange everything that can be. Orange everything that can be. Everything orange. Orange. That's what you want to see. Like, you don't necessarily want these stats. Okay, maybe you do. But you want to see like everything orange. Everything is grinded, enchanted, and stuff like that. So like most of these monsters, like the monsters I use, are like that. Oh, he's okay. Violent is a difficult thing to get, but see, everything you want to get is like grind that shit. It's working. It's like that's where you progress like really fast in a really short time, because you can make like you can improve a monster like 10 to 20% simply by grindstones and getting 10 to 20% better runes from farming dragons or necro. So much more difficult. So focus on R3 and get TOA hard team. For TOA hard, why you should focus on that is mainly like extra crystals and the Devilmon. Like the Devilmon is like it's a resource in the game and you're not gonna get much of them. If you can clear it, like for example, you're focusing on it right now, like you stop farming dragons for now and you just get like Spectra, Moth, what else good, Beretta, stuff like that. These three monsters, if you have these three max skilled, you can clear TOA hard pretty much just by adding like Pharaoh and Bella and you're done. It's like this is free to play. I've like on my channel I have many videos. You can clear it with this stuff. You need some RNG, it's gonna take some time. Sure. Very true. But you can clear it. And that's where you're gonna take the advantage over people that are like, it's taking too long. I don't want to clear it. I have to play manual. Who cares? Who cares? Just if you want to progress, you get those things. That's like these are the things like if you focus on these three, you're gonna get out of the early game and you're gonna go into mid game. Should I write down? Nah, I already wrote down how to get out. Well, let's say early. I removed it already. How to go out of that? Get GB10 team. Easy as that. You get as soon as you get a GB10 team, you can farm GB10. You get into Dragons mostly quite easily. You farm some different monsters, you get some other stuff. You can get into it. If people need like specific teams for like how to do it, I can write them down in the comments section if that's wanted. But I think there's like so many guides on like which teams to get that it's not that difficult. So then going into the mid game. Actually, I think early game is where most people are like that are playing for like a year or something and they're not really progressing. I think they're still in early game simply because they're not getting the will runes, not getting raids that much, and that's where a lot of people get stuck and just like keep on the routine, like farming more violent, farming more violent, farming more violent. That's not gonna bring you that far, for sure. Okay, violence is good. It's like one of the best sets, if not the best set. But if you just keep farming the same thing, it's really difficult to progress. You need like specific teams to do specific things, and that's where you get your progression. So mid game to end game. Um, this is more a difficult one. This is more like, okay, which monsters did you pull? You can clear like, if you can't do TOA hard 100 yet, focus on that. You're getting like C2, C3. You're doing some R4. Trying to get into R5 is like, it's quite important, but it's not necessarily needed because R4 drops everything R5 can drop. Only R5 has like a way higher chance on getting the legend enchants, the legend grindstones. But R4, it doesn't drop the quality of rare anymore. It's just hero and what's the other one? Is rare, hero, legendary. Does that actually? It drops rare. What's the one before rare? The shitty. The shit. It doesn't drop shitty. That's the quality you're not getting. So you're getting like the rare and the hero, and that's the same as R5. So why getting like too much focus onto R5 is if R4 is actually quite good. If you're like failing 50% of the R5s and you're just getting frustrated because of that, because I'm failing every time, it's so difficult to find a team, stuff like that, far more R4. It's completely fine. You get into R5 eventually. But farming R4 is good. Like I can't emphasize this enough. Raiding is super important. Getting all these grindstones and all these monsters is super important. Um, what else do you want to do? You have to build if you want to progress from like C3 into Guardian or like get into G3 guilds, actually for mid-game players also not that difficult, I think. If you're like C2, C3, you should be able to get in like a G3 guild as well, I think. Um, so how to progress on this point? Really based on like uh, which monsters you are using, how you are using them, and which runes you got. So there are some, I think in most cases, people got like more monsters than runes, and sometimes it's more runes than monsters. I think this happens like 10 times more often. Like you're getting like super cool net fives, you want to work on everything. Maybe you got like 20 net fives, but you only have like devil ones to max out 4 or 5 of them. And that's where people get stuck. Maybe you even get stuck on that on early game. So also tip for like early game people, focus on what's actually gonna help you. If you have like some arena, if you have some arena king monsters or guild war king monsters, give them your best runes. Don't spread out all your runes, even if that means that you have to give no runes to some of the really cool net 5 monsters. Try to keep the best runes on the monsters that are in your arena and in your guild wars. And also, quite a thing. Around this time is where you want to start to upgrade your runes 1, 3, and 1, 3, and 5 to plus 15. It doesn't give you a lot of more stats, but if you do it and the enemy doesn't, that's where you take the advantage. And it's gonna cost you a lot of mana. Yeah, hell, for sure. It's gonna cost you a lot of mana. But if you take that advantage and your enemy does it, or you don't and your enemy does, that's where you get the difference in level. So that's where you progress. And don't do it for every shitty rune, just do it on the really good ones. Because the thing is, like, if you upgrade a rune for 15, you're gonna have that rune for life. It's not like you place it on a monster, it's like bound to that monster until you get a next rune. No, it's like you're gonna keep that rune until you replace it, and then that rune goes to like the next monster and it's gonna serve good there. All these runes you're getting are for life, so upgrading them to plus 15 is not bad, as long as it's not a shitty rune. Um, so I think that's like the main, the general thing of like how to progress from like um, the early to the mid game to the end game. Then I think also what is good to talk about. I shouldn't have removed those. Not gonna write them all again, like maybe just GB10, GB, DB10, and pre-GB10. Um, about runes, like what runes to keep, what runes to toss away. Because I know there's like quite some friends of mine there, like they're playing, but they don't keep all the runes that have potential. Like a rune at first sight doesn't really have to seem that good, but a potential rune for the level you're at could be like it could be well, I'll just talk through some examples which you should keep or maybe not keep. So in the early, you're gonna keep everything. Well, maybe that's gonna waste a lot of mana. Maybe not everything, but everything. Um, yeah, everything that has potential, pretty much. Everything that's like uh, blue and above, above 5-star plus, you want to keep that. You're probably going to use it on some monster later, maybe your TOA hard team, maybe your necro team, something like that. Keep most of the runes, and only if you have runes like double or something like that, you can toss those away to upgrade your other runes. But try to keep like as much as possible. And the way I mostly do it is like if I have a blue rune, um, purple, and legend. If I have a blue rune and it has like, for example, attack and defense on slot 3, you're farming something giant you like, Swift. And for example, it has like 5 and 5. You would say for early game, it's okay rune. But this could roll into 15, which makes it quite a good rune. I think it can even roll into, let's say 5-star. I think it can even roll into like 17 or 18. I'm not really sure about attack on the 5-star runes. I know them all by heart from the 6-star, but not about 5-star runes. So if you get like, at first sight you're thinking like, yeah, it's just a shitty rune. Maybe even like this, it's a shitty rune, I'm gonna sell it. Just try to upgrade the first 2 upgrades, and maybe attack becomes 18. Then it's useful. But if it goes into defense and you don't need it on a Swift, sell it at +3. That's the thing. Like, um, keep everything that has potential. Try to upgrade them. If, for example, if it goes into like 10, it rolls like super low. It goes into 10. Sell it at +6. Not a big deal. You can sell them later, and it's not gonna cost you that much mana to upgrade them. And purple and legendary you're gonna keep anyways because you don't have that many of them. Early game. Um, early game I think is where most people make mistakes of keeping and selling runes. Like some people are asking me is like sell all blue. No way. No way. Don't sell all blues, man. That's like straight up like crazy shit. It's like sell all blues. No way. It's like, for example, blues, 6 star, violent, HP percent. Um, People are gonna keep this for sure. That's okay. But for example, if it's a blue 6 star, well, that was slot 6, violent, people are probably gonna keep those blue. But what if it's a slot 5, violent, and it has attack 7, defense 6? This could go to plus 16, that's 23. So you have a 23 attack rune simply because a blue rune that actually looked kind of shitty at first upgraded 2 times into attack. Well, that's a rune you want to keep. That's for sure. It's something you want to keep. Like even better. Or am I gonna fail? No, like good. For example, you get like a speed. Oops, speed. I'm messing it up. Speed plus 4 can actually roll into speed 16. Speed 16 is something I want right now. It's like I can violent speed 16. I can use it easy. Um, Then you also have like the question like getting guard runes. If this would be a guard rune, still keep it. It's a good rune. You can use this on a broken set plus 16. Maybe it's not gonna be your fastest set, and maybe it's not gonna be Bernard, but you got so many speed boosters like Megan, Light Harpy, Orion even. It's like if it's plus 16 and you get a grindstone on it, it's like you're gonna make 20 out of that. And it started out quite shitty. Also, like for 5 star runes, let's keep some of the information. I can't. 5 star rune, violent, and it doesn't matter which slot, and it starts with like speed 5. It's only blue. Speed 5 can get into 15 speed. A speed substat on a violent 5 star, even I keep that right now, just to have the potential to get a 15 speed. If it rolls into 8 like the first time, I sell it. Not a big deal. Didn't spend that much mana. But that's like these key things um, that are making you improve. It's like checking out which rune, and if you would straight up sell it, it could have been a 15. Why not? Um, then maybe some less good. Let's say some people say like no speed, I sell it. I wouldn't really agree on that. It's like, for example, at, especially violent. Like no speed, I sell it. But there's so many monsters that actually do not require speed. Like especially like your early game, right? What do you need to do to go to mid game? Necro. What does Necro not require? Speed. So if you get like a violent um, slot, doesn't matter. Purple 5 star and has attack, CR, CD. This is a perfect rune for anything like on your Necro team. Your Necro team is probably like all fire ref. It's like the whole team. You can literally run like a whole Necro team of Violent Revenge. Give them shitty runes. It will work. That's the set to go. Um. So yeah, if it's 5 star, try the potential. If they're like all like, I go +3 here, +3 here. Okay, you can sell it. But if it goes like +5 and +6, and then attack goes into like +6 as well, then you have a decent rune. And these are the runes you want to check out for. Like even some 5 star runes can be really legit, especially if they're like purple. If a purple goes like triple into max roll, it's good. Even if this had like flat HP, if it dodges the flat HP and it goes into 15 CR and about 12 attack. That's a rune you want to keep for like early to mid game. This is quite a good rune. If it goes all the way into flat HP, you sell it. You know how it works. But give these rune potentials. It's gonna spend you're gonna spending a lot of time upgrading this stuff, but it works. Trust me. So that's from like mid game to or like early to mid. I think most things are actually the same in mid to end game. I think like keep everything with potential. Like I think by this time like blue 5 stars, you're probably gonna sell it unless it's like Swift uh, sell, unless Swift speed or Fio speed. This is pretty much like, but just the blue 5 stars. If you get purples, check out if the stats work for with what you need. That's also like a key thing. Like, what do you need? If you have like a lot of violet runes, your level of like selling them could be like if it was a Swift rune, you would keep it because of the speed or because of the stats you need. Like on a will rune, you keep it because it's the stats you need. But because you have that many violent runes or that many fatal runes, you're gonna sell the fatal rune. But if the same stats is like just blue, 5 stars on a will rune, which you kind of need, keep it. Try to upgrade it. That's like my key thing is like try to upgrade these things and sell them like right away when it starts to go down. Sell them right away. So I think I've been talking about like end game. You probably know what to keep, what to sell at this point. I think I've talked quite some about progressing, how to progress. Um, Yeah, I think I had everything. I should have made like a list of what to talk about and stuff like that. But I think this gives like a really good impression. Like, so core things to do is like know what you want to focus on. Um, check in which part of the game you are at, maybe by checking out this kind of template-ish. And like check in the video where I talked about it, like which part am I in, which part should I progress on to get to the next part. And I hope you liked the video. Got some more ideas about like how to focus on which monsters with like rune optimizing, how I do that. Um, some more explanation about the rune optimizer. There's a video in my YouTube right now that talks about the rune optimizer, but it's like 10 months old. It's still the same, but it has like a lot and a lot of improvements. These guys are getting like super good on the updates. So check out that for sure. Like really props to the creators of the Rune Optimizer. And my next video is probably about that. And I will try to release that before the next rune removal, which is like in I think 2.5 weeks. So subscribe to the channel if you want to look forward to that. Maybe I'll be giving out some more tips. This video was quite long. I've been reading like quite a long time. Um, but I hope you can use some of these tips. Maybe you can check out with some other players like what they think about it. Maybe I'm completely wrong. If you think I'm completely wrong, you have different opinions, let me know. I think that's cool. Like having a bit of discussion, that's nice. It's like trying to improve each other by having discussion. Perfect thing to do. So just to wrap it up, I'm already like rattling off for 5 more minutes already. I could talk so much if I enjoy doing something. I got way too much of these stones. So yeah, thanks for watching and hope to see you at the next video.